Do y'all think we're in the right class?
Quedó el yuco, ¿ah?
All right, so here we are back.
Hello, Mr. Cruz.
Hello. So remember, we're closing in on the end here. So these are the two important dates. Next time we meet, it'll in the 120 time, it'll be the test for chapter 11. And remember, after next week, after classes are done with, we go to exam schedule, and this is your exam date. I don't just pull that out of my head. That's actually Delgado's college-wide exam schedule. It's a different night. It's been on the syllabus since the beginning, so don't be confused about that. Different night. All right, so anybody got any specifics they'd like to see? I was just going to go through the little review. But if we got something specific. All right. All right, so let's bring up that. Okay. So, important dates there. Please don't lose those. Those are the same dates that have been on the syllabus the addendum calendar. So they're not changing unless something really bad happens, like school closures or what, which that shouldn't affect us.
Question. So for the makeup test, that's gonna be due on May 1st.
There is no makeup test. The exam is your makeup, the final exam. That way you only have one thing to concentrate on, because that exam, that's the mandatory one. That's the one you got to go all out on, okay?
Okay, so when I emailed you about the take home test that I didn't complete, you say I can do it the last day of class. So I'm confused.
Okay. That's okay. The policy is as such. That's why I sent that to you, but let me go through it. See, there's no individual makeup test, but mixed tests will be made up with the final exam score. See that? That's what I had sent you, and that's what it means. It's right there. Okay. That's what that black part is. Okay.
So when you saying missed test will be made up with the final exam score,
Yes.
what are you meaning by that part? Because I'm thinking I
Well,
can still do it.
what you make on the final exam.
Okay, so I can't do it. Okay.
Yeah. The final exam is the makeup. In other words, you're not taking a 0 for it. You're taking the score that you get on the final exam. So no worries there. All right. But before the final exam, we got chapter 11.
Okay.
Because this one right here is the regular test one, okay? The last regular test. And also, too, So we should get these, if provide everything goes through, we'll have 5 in, and I'll drop one of them. So the lowest one get dropped. All
Say
right.
that again.
So
What you saying?
I said that's the that's the final test out of my 5 tests. That's the 25 points altogether. Each one of the
Okay.
5-point tests. The one coming up. And then the final exam is the big daddy. That's the one on 2 weeks from yesterday. All right. So this right here is a frequency. We did something like this in the first hour. And these are part of chapter 11. So how many okay, what it is, these are the initials for the doctors, last names. And so each patient went to see the doctor, and this is the data below. And there's 21 patient visits. All right. So 3 7s, looks like. So now we got the 3 Fs. I'm sorry, the number of Fs, it looks like it's 4. Is that all the Fs? Do I have all the Fs there? On the first row, there's only 2. On the second row, there are no Fs. And on the third row, there are 2 Fs.
That's look like that's all of them.
Okay. The number of M's is 1, 2.
3.
So that's all of them, isn't it? If you see one that I missed, let me know, because I'm going to come back and double check at the end, but I'm trying to strike out each one slightly differently. So the next one is P. So P. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then T's. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do it with a different color. So there's your T's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm initially counting them, and then I'm going to go back and double check. And then W's. Looks like there's 3 of those. Oh, 4 of those. Let's see, does everything have a mark? Well, we'll know because, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these up. And we know that there was 21 patients. So if they all add up to 21, that'll be a good sign. So 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6 plus 4. Uh-oh. Let's go back and see. We're 1 off. 4, 3, 5, 6, and 4. All right. So the F's were the ones that were underlined in blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. The M's are the ones with the blue line on top. And there's 1, 2, 3. P's are the check marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's hope it's the T's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what about W's? What's going on here? I have to erase them all and start again, because this is frustrating, and this is one reason why I want to spend some time on this. And that's why in the 020 I gave one like this, because it's easy to make a mistake, especially doing them on the fly. Make sure you calm down before you start these. All right, because you got to count. So W's, 1, 2, There's only 3. Okay, that's it. So there we go. So now we can answer this question by looking at the frequency distribution. These doctors are affiliated with 4 major medical groups, but not every doctor is affiliated with every group. The table below shows the groups and the doctors affiliated with them. City Med is Dr. Tran. Bayside Medical Group is P and W. Plymouth is Phillips, Mitchell, and Tran. And then Coast is Foster and W. All right. So how many patients went to see a doctor affiliated with the Bayside? There's Bayside, and that's P and W. So now, what would that be? 5 and 3 is 8. Anybody see anything different? Did I do something boneheaded?
No, I see what you're doing.
All right, good. All right, let's see what's number 2's got in store. That's the one where we got to build the histogram, I believe. Well, actually, no, this is our frequency distribution that's for grouped data, and then we do one with a histogram. All right, so this is the same kind of thing, except it's smaller. So we're looking for all the ones that are 67 to 71, so that would be those 3. And that's only 3, isn't it? Oh, no, wait a minute. There's another one down here, 67. So that's all the ones that are in the 60s, right? Plus the 71. So that's 4. '72 to '77. All right. So there's 72, 76. And that appears to be the only ones that are in the range 72 to 77. A 72 and a 76. 78 to 83. So not that one, but there's one. There's one. And there's one. So that's 78. There's no, and then 80. There's no 81 or 82, but there's 83. So that's 3 of them. And then here, 84 to 89. There's 2 of them. And then we got to check. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So what do these add up to? So that's 11, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's right. Because all of these should add up down here. That should amount, it should match the number of values you had in your data. All right. Any questions about that? We're going to do one more frequency distribution, and then it
Mr.
also,
Cruz, you make it seem so easy. I was struggling yesterday with that.
well, you got to have some kind of method. And like I said, yes, I have problems with counting things too. So I try to make it so that um, I put a different like mark on each ones for the ones that go in there. You can also use the tallying that we used last hour. That's what they show you in the book. And I think in Alex, the tallying, I don't always have to do it, especially when it's small like that.
Okay.
You just got to realize that there's limitations to what you could do. So realize that because it's a tedious process, you got to plan on it taking a while to do to count. All right, so here we got another one. We got 92 to 96. I mean, not 93 to 96. So I'm going to go through and click all the ones that are 93 to 96. There's one. No more up there. There's one. So is that all the ones that are 93 to 96?
Yes.
So that's 3 of them. 97 to 100. Let me change the color. So there's 100. There's a 97. There's no more in between 97 and 100 up there. But here's one. So is that all of them? 97 to 100? The ones with the brown on top, or the whatever the color that is, maroon, burnt orange. All right, so 101 to 104. So here's one. Not that, not that. Here's one. Nope, I'm sorry. That's greater than 104. There's 104. There's 101. And I believe that's all of them. Another 3. Another 3. So we'll come back and double check, because like I said, don't go by your first counts, because it's easy to make a mistake with this. It's just very tedious. So now 105 to 108. 105. And I think that's the only ones that's in that range of 105 to 108. There's nothing higher than 106, so it's just 2. All right. And then 109 to 112. So so that would be this one, this one, this one, that one, and that one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what do they add up to? 3 plus 3 plus 3.
Bro, she fucking made a whole new app and she scheduled me on all the days that I fucking took.
3 plus 3 plus 3. Oops. Three plus 3 plus 3 plus 2.
16, yeah. Altogether 16.
16, you're right. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 rows, so that's 16. So we got them all. So you always want to double check. Make sure you didn't make a mistake. It is easy to make a mistake, especially if you're under pressure, because that happens to me. If I'm getting ready to do something, I got to do it ahead of time because, you get in, especially when you feel like you're being judged either by, in a presentation like this, there's a lot of pressure. So same thing with a test. Okay, so now the good thing about this is it's got this neat little thing to drag up the bar because this is the histogram. So we're going to slide up to the frequencies given here. So there's 3, 3, 3. Wait a second. Yeah, that one didn't go. There it goes. And then this one's 2. 3, 3, 3, 2, and 5. All right. Anybody see any problems? Hold on one second. Just look at that. All right. Anybody see any issues, or does it look good?
Look good from what I'm seeing.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't see me make a mistake, I double checked by adding them up because the total here should match the total up here. So there were 16. And then when we add those, we got 16. All right, so this is the mean, median, and mode. All right. Now, they give us some numbers here. In this case, some are positive, some are negative, but the process is still the same no matter what kind of numbers they are. All right, so the following list contains the average annual total returns in percentage points for 10 mutual funds. All right, the mutual funds appear in an online brokerage firm's all-star list. All right, so here they are. Now, we can send them to the calculator. That's a good thing. And I'm going to do the median first, and it is first. But let me just tell you that oftentimes they switch these two around. Sometimes they'll put the mean up here, and sometimes they'll put the median. See, this is the mean right here, and there's the median. And other than that, that problem is written exactly alike. All right, so watch out for that. Now, I'm going to send over to the calculator. And the way that it sends it over there to the calculator, see how it does it with commas? So that allows me, the reason why I'm doing this first, the median, is because I can sort when it's like that. So if I sort, then these are now in order so that we can do the mean. And then I'll come back and show you what I do with the median. And then when I'll come back and show you what we do with the mean. Real easy now. So the median, remember, is the middle value. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did earlier in the class. I'm going to paste them right here. What? in the world was it doing all that? Oh, okay. This is I know what it's doing. Now it makes sense. I just don't know. It's odd that it's doing that, but it's only doing it in that text box. So these are those numbers sorted. I'm going to double check because, like I said, with all the stuff that it did. So -10. Make sure I got this right. 30. And then 32. Oh, I took the text box away. It won't let me take it back. All right, let me try that again. All right, I'm just going to type them in. That's easier. Because I want to show you the process in case you don't understand it. I think that's all. 36. And what, 37? I think that's all of them. I can't see because of that little calculator. It moves over. You got to move it over to say. So 32, 36, 37, 30, 24, 18, 11, 9, -9, -10. All right. So now, because we've got 10 values, the median is not going to be one of these. We got to go to the two middle ones. The two middle values and add, and divide by 2. All right. So the two middle values for 10 are right here. Because as you can see, when you take the two middle ones, then you got 4 here and 4 there. All right. So now we're going to take +18 +24, and then that's 42, and we're going to divide by 2. So the median is smack dab in the middle there. So that's what's going to go here. But watch that because, like I said, sometimes they swap these around. They often do. Now, again, I'm going to use this. And the way I like to handle this is just change these to pluses. So that way I'm not having to type the data in. Let's see. It's got a negative sign. That'll work. What? Let me try that again. This one's particularly crazy just because it's got negative values in it. Because oftentimes what happens when you transcribe some things, like from one place to another, if you're reading it on the screen and you type it in the calculator, it's easy to make a mistake. So you need to have some way.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot.
Yeah, that's why I suggest doing this.
Me too.
Because that way we're not in jeopardy of having the wrong numbers in our calculator. All right, so I'm going to add those up and divide by 10. So 17.8. All right, now with the ones that were sorted, hopefully we can see which ones are repeated. And I do not think there's anything repeated here, is there?
No, there isn't.
So then there are 0 modes. Now you got to be careful because there's a difference between your mode being 0 and no modes. So just remember that, because it is possible that if 0 were in there and you were repeating it several times, that it could be a mode. But that's different from, I would rather they say no modes, but you can't always get what you want. All right. So any questions about that one? About that process? All right, let's go on to this next one. So this is the pain in the neck calculation, the standard deviation. So it's like 4 really messy steps. The calculator does not do it in one step like it does the mean. So we either got to follow the way Alex shows us, which is that horizontal way, or we got to do it the way I'm doing it. There may be some of the way I don't know about, but this is my favorite way to do it, is to make it a chart. But one thing we need to do is we got to find the mean. All right. So that means what we're going to do is what we were just doing is we're going to add these up. So 49 plus 51 plus 48 plus 50 plus 52 is 250, and we're dividing by 5. So this is a nice rounded number. So I'm thankful for that. So the mean is 50. All right. We need to have the mean in order to calculate the standard deviation. So right here is just for each x value. So I'll just type them out here. All right. And then this right here. Oh, and we haven't had to worry about it yet. This is x minus the mean. But are we doing sample standard deviation or population standard deviation? I'm going to go over and remind you of the difference. With my notes.
Population?
All right, so there's two different ones. Let me go back to the problem.
Okay. Sample. I see it there. I didn't even look at that one.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, and that's why I'm trying to play a little bit coy here, because I've been doing this a while, and it's like people are looking for it to say it exactly one way, because naturally we think, oh, the sample standard deviation, because that's the name of it, but it's find the standard deviation of this sample. All right. So now I'm going to store my 50 in there, and I'm going to subtract it from each one. So 49 minus 50 is -1. -1. 51 minus 50 is regular 1. 48 minus 50 is -2. -50 minus 50. It's a nice fat 0. That's a good number to have because it creates less work for you. And then 52 minus 50 is 2. All right. So now up here, it's the square of that one we just finished, that column. All right. So -1 squared. Now you got to, you can kind of take an easy path or a hard path here because any number squared is going to be positive. So if you square a -1, you got to go through this and make it in a parentheses. All right. So don't get into thinking otherwise. And I'll show you what I mean, because this is the mistake that people often make. They'll put in the -1 and then they'll square it. And since the base does not include the negative number, that's going to stay negative, but that's not squaring the -1. That's the negative of 1 squared. So this is what you want if you're using the calculator. If it's negative, make sure to put parentheses around to square it, because these all have to be positive. So 1 squared is 1, -2 squared is 4, 0 squared is 0, and 2 squared is 4. And then we just add these up. So 8, 9, 10. So this right here is the sum of this column here, the x minus the x bar squared. And so just to go back to the to the formula, see, we've got our whole numerator now, and that's the hard part. So now we're going to create our fraction. Well, so that's 40. I'm sorry, 10. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of data. Since it's a sample, we're subtracting 1. And then we're taking the square root of it. So that's the square root of 10 over 4. Okay. So I'm going to put that in the calculator and let the calculator do the heavy lifting. So square root 10 divided by 4. So we need it to 2 decimal places, so 1.58. All right, so that's the sample standard deviation process. Just remember, if it says population, then you don't subtract in the denominator. You just have the n. I think most of the time you're getting a sample one, but like I said, yes, they will throw one in there every once in a while to make sure you're on your, keep you on your toes. So that's the most work intensive calculation there is. Other than that, where you're counting for the frequency distributions, this right here is equally challenging, if not more so. They both require attention to detail. Because we make a small mistake and we're kind of done for. I was going to show you too, just in case. So because it's that way, I may put everything back. These right here will always sum to 0. If we calculated our mean correctly, then, and we did the subtraction correctly, then this will be 0. And we can see that it is. -1 and 1 is 0. -2 and 2 is 0. And the other 0 gives us that. So just remember that. That's a place you can check, kind of a safe spot in between steps. All right. So this is that percentile stuff. And it's really not complicated, but it is a little bit of a pain in the neck because the way that Alex does it. But I'll show you. And then, like I said, it's really not complicated, but you got to remember to bump up. And I'll show you what I mean by bump up. All right, I'm going to send the data over here because it's got to be sorted. Remember, you got a sort button right there. See the sort button? You click that, you save yourself an awful lot of work. All right. So again, I wish the calculator was bigger so I could show you, but we have to live with that. So the 30th is we're going to take 0.3, the decimal equivalent, times 15. And why 15? Because that's how many pieces of data there are. All right. So I'm going to use this calculator so I can keep that in there. So that's 0.30 times 15. So 4.5. 5, but we bump up to 5. Therefore, the 30th percentile is in the 5th position. And so then I'm just going to go back over here to that data that we had sorted. And I'm going to look for the 5th position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's the 5th position. So 13 is our 30th percentile. All right. Same thing for this. It's going to be 0.75 now times 15. And so, oops, I don't think I did that right. 0.75. So 11.25. So the 75th is in the 12th position. So count to 12. I'm going to go back to that calculator that's got it in there. All right. So 12th position. So I'm going to count from the other side because it's 15, 14, 12. So 15, 14, 13, 12. So there is our 75th percentile. I need to get a move on here. Towards the end, there's one that repeats. So, all right. So take a gander at that, and then I'll come back and erase that. All right. So let's erase that. Now, this is asking us about some data. Government agencies keep data about the income distribution of the population. The Robinson family and the Evans family live in a county with 5,000 families. The Robinson family's income is at the 69th percentile, and the Evans family's income is at the 58th percentile. Now, remember, 50th is right here. Oh, I got the invisible ink thing on. So 50th would be right here. That's the mean. And then over here, so 0 would be over here somewhere, 100 here. And then we're looking at 469, 58. There's the 58th. And then 69 would be somewhere up here. We don't really need to make it completely a number line, but we want to get the perspective of where it's at in relation to the 50th percentile, because that's one of the questions they ask. So which of the following must be true about the Robinson and Evanson family? So the Evans family earns more. So this is Robinson. So this is Evan here, and this is Robinson, so the Evans family earns more than the Robinson family. No, it's the other way around. Both the Robinson family and the Evans family earn more than the median income. See, they're up here. They're the more on the plus side of 50th. Now, as long as none of these other ones are better, we're going to take that one. So the Robinson family earns $11,000 more than the family of the Evans family. Well, here's the thing is, we don't know how much people make. We just know what their ranked is. All right. So that one's out. And the Robinson family and the Evans family both have incomes in the bottom half of the country. No. So that's the one we want right there. So one more. It's just talking about the Robinson. So the Robinson is this one. That's the Robinson, the 69th. All right. So the Robinson family earns less than about 69%. No, they're above 69%. That's what the 69th percentile is. They're above. The Robinson family earns about 69% of the highest income in the country. It looks like it is, but let's look. Oh, wait a second. This is the one we want. The Robinson family earns more than about 69% of the families in the country. This one is close, but let's go back and see why it's not right. The Robinson family earns about 69% of the highest income in the country. No. Again, these values have to do with rank. We don't know what they make. Robinson family earns more, earns about 31%. No, 31% would be down here. So 69 is the right one. All right, so this is the one we looked at in the last hour. So we'll go through this again. So what we want to do is we're going to take the 2 bits of information they give us, which is this and this. The mean is 70.9 and the standard deviation is 1.6. So we got to plot 3 values on here. What would go in this middle one?
$70.9.
Yeah, 70.9. Now, our next trick is going to be finding how many standard deviations it is to right here. It looks to me like it's 1, but let's just double check. Let's take the 70.9 plus that 1.6, and that brings us a little bit more than 72, and that's about right. So now let's subtract because we want to go on the left. And remember, that's minus, so that's subtract. So we take 70.9 minus 1.6. 69.3. So yeah, it's more than 68 and in between and a little bit less than 70. So 69.3. So that was just 1 standard deviation. So that's the 68%. If it was 2 standard deviations, 95, it was 3, 99.7. This is one where we kind of going to graph out what they ask us to do. All right. This is a nice little tool that they got built in ALEKS. It allows us to graph the section of the normal curve that we're going to find out how much it is. So doing this will give us a visual of about how much, because everything underneath there is 100%. So we first got to realize it's negative 100. So I'm going to click that middle one, and I'm going to go to where the negative 100 is at. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. This is 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So this is the one we want. So now it says to the left. So now what we do is shade here, because that's to the left of the line. And then because it's to the left, to find part B, we can just look it up in the table. And I want to find negative 1. And negative 1 is right here. It's negative 1.0. So that's what's going to go here. And just to give us another little check, let's use the calculator. The probability function is the third one down under recall. And see that? This one, sadly, it doesn't round it to 4 decimal places, so you got to round it. So that 6 right there gets bumped up to 7 because of that 5. All right, this is the one that's double up. So we'll do one of these, and then we'll skip 12, and if we have time, we can come back to it. All right, so now we gotta realize that now we're in a little bit more complicated territory. We got to the right. All right. So what we got to do is we got to use the complement rule. Now, to show you on my little graph over here, this little thing. All right. I'm just going to show you a graph of it just to kind of give you some perspective. So it was negative 1.06. All right. So what the calculator is doing and what the textbook is doing is they're giving you this value right here. They're giving you this area. That's to the left. But it's asking for what's to the right. So how do we find that? Well, everything underneath there is 1. So we should use the complement rule. So for A, 1 minus probability of Z less than Z. So we're going to just put that into the calculator. That's one of the good things about the Alex. We can just type that in and it will do it for us. So now I don't know why it's so hard to grab there. Well, let me copy the whole thing and then I'll take it out. There's the 4. No rounding necessary because the one to the right's 2. Now, this is between. So what between is going to be is the probability of the bigger one That's the bigger one. And then we're going to subtract the smaller one. And then we can put that into the calculator. Because I'll show you on the little thing over here what we're doing. Oops, I don't need that. And then what was the other one? It was negative 2.46. All right. Oh, I got them backwards. You got to put the smallest one first. And I did what I was telling you not to do. Yeah. There we go. All right. So we got to find that area. So what we do is we find this one, the big one, which is 1.03. And then we're going to whack off that little part right there, that little tail. And so that's what we're going to do here. Probability of negative 1.03 minus that. What happened? Minus probability of so then that's we'll round that off when you get it in there. So 5 becomes 6. All right. So like I said, we don't need to worry about 12. 12 is the exact same problem. All right. Now for these applications, we've got to calculate the z-score. That's one of the only thing that's different. The other thing that's different is the percent. And a matter of fact, just for time's sake, I'm just going to do 14 because 14 is the harder one. And if you got questions about the other one, you can look at the video, or I can do it Tuesday because we'll have the O2O time. So we got to find two z-scores. We got to have, because this is a between, see? Oh, this is a less than or more, so it's a good thing. So this is on the outside. All right, so we got to have the z-score. Let me do that real quick. So we got mean of 274, standard deviation of 20. So this is the 257 minus the 274 over 20. And then the other one is the 313 minus 274 over 20. And I'm going to just hit the calculator and get that real quick. 257 minus 279 divided by 20. So this is equal to negative 1.1. That's our z-score now. All right. So this one is 313 minus 274. So this is equal to divide by 20. So this is 1.95. So there's our two z-scores. All right. For just the sake of brevity of time, this is not that common of a problem. The more and that, but I'll show you what it is, and then you'll see that it's not that hard. All right. So it was z-score of negative 110 and 1.95. So that's what we're doing, and it's outside. Now, what you got to do is you got to do. The only thing we know to do them is just do them separately. This one over here is your complement rule, and then this is the straight up one, and then you just add them. So I'm going to do that real quick. So I'm going to do less than this. So negative. I don't know why it keeps doing that. So that value is going to go right in here. I'm going to store it in there, and I'm going to use it in a second. Hold on a second. No, that's the one I want. So that one is stored. Now we're going to do the other one, and we're going to use the complement rule. So that's that. And then we're going to add the other one. And so this is, and then we got to multiply it by 100 to get percent. So this is 16.13%. All right, so that's all I got for tonight. I'll see you on Tuesday for the early class with any questions you got. We can go over any of these. Otherwise, I might probably go. We start the test early.
Mr. Cruz,
Yes.
can that review test for chapter 5? You got it where we can only do it 3 times. Can we get more chances to do it?
Oh yeah, you can do that. That's just the default,
It's
and
like-
I
Good night, everybody.
all right.
Good night. All right. Thank you.
Good night.
Hey, Felicia, I wanted to ask you something because I think I know what happened with that. I'll talk to you in a second.
All right.
Mr. Cruz, we did have
Uh-huh.
class today on the other one, on the O20.
Yeah, the 5:30 class, sure.
Oh, my thing didn't show. I thought I was like waiting. I'm sorry. Okay. I
Yeah,
thought
I mean it doesn't go
I
away.
thought
It's just that it's done as far as the grade is concerned, but
mhm.
we're still using it as prep for this
Oh,
class.
okay. Oh, okay.
So
That's what I was like,
on
okay.
Tuesday, we will meet again, and that time
Okay.
to answer any questions before the test. And I probably have fixed up where you can start early.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a great night.
Okay. Well.
Bye.
All right. Anybody got any other questions? That's before I because it looks like people are in here, but if y'all are just hanging out and not paying attention, I'm going to kick y'all out. All right. Okay. Oh, so you're in here, Felicia. Okay. Hey, I was looking, I couldn't find your ID. Could you send me, just email me a copy of your ID again, your Delgado ID, preferably?
Yes, sir.
I think might have been what happened on the responders, because I got to complete it manually. So if you could send me that, I'd appreciate it. Okay.
Okay.
But I changed the
Let's see.
thing
Oh, you gonna
to, I changed it
all
to
right.
to 10 or whatever it was, the maximum.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay, I will. That's in my other purse. I'm gonna send it to
Yeah,
you.
I don't need to write this minute, but like I said, is
Okay.
tomorrow I'll probably do it. So,
All right.
all right. Well, good luck.
All
You're
right.
doing all
All right.
right. So,
Well,
I'll
thank you.
see you next time. And then you might send me an email to make sure everything's set up. I think I'll probably do the same thing as we did the last one, and just let
Yeah, it
people
took an
start
hour for
early.
me to get it through Alexa. It took a whole hour.
Yeah.
I'm not, yeah, I
Well,
mean for responding, not Alexa, for responding.
yeah, I know. That's
Like
what
I
I'm
want
saying
to,
is make sure you check it. And this may be the problem that ID wasn't matching up. Okay.
yeah, cause like the camera had frozen, wouldn't do it, so I logged out and downloaded it again. I had to keep downloading it. It
Well, like I
was,
said,
yeah,
is
I
you can
mean,
do that. You can if you
sir.
need to, I can put that practice thing back in there. Maybe I'll do that now. That responders thing, so you can do it without. Let me put that back because I think it ran out a few weeks ago. So where is it at? There it is. So I'm gonna put it till today. Well, I'm gonna put it till next week.
So the final test is in May, but I'm talking chapter 5 test is when?
Next class.
Next class. Oh Lord.
Yeah. There's only 2 more days of class left. All right. So
All
I'll
right.
see you. Let me know if you got any questions, but send me
So
that.
next class
That'll
is on
remind
the
me.
23rd, right?
Right. Next Tuesday.
Oh Lord. Okay.
All right. Well,
All
we'll
right.
see you next
All
time.
right. All right. Good night.
Mhm.